New tonight, the St. Joseph River Harbor will be dredged again this year thanks to $1 million from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It'll help keep the water safe for shipping, fishing, and boating this summer. ABC 57's Jordan Hatfield is live in St. Joe with why this work is so important to the local economy there. Jordan?
Good evening, Brian. Well, that's exactly right. Without those funds, the harbor would not be viable for the different tanker ships that bring in key supplies here that support our local infrastructure. Every year, the St. Joe Harbor must be dredged as the river current brings with it sand and silt that piles up along the river bottom, which over time would prevent ships from being able to enter the harbor. Large tanker ships rely on the harbor here as they bring in hundreds of thousands of tons of material necessary for local businesses, especially road crews.
Our harbor is a critical harbor because we get a lot of material in that's used in construction projects, not only in Berrien County, but all over southwest Michigan and northern Indiana.
Earlier this week, Congressman Huizenga, who represents Michigan's 4th District, announced more than $1 million from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to get that dredging done.
These harbors are a vital part of West Michigan's economy, both the industrial side as well as the recreational side and those tourism dollars.
The harbor is also a key location for boaters in the summer, from fishing charters to those just looking for a good time out on Lake Michigan and the river. Without that federal funding, St. Joe and Benton Harbor taxpayers would likely have to pay for any dredging, which routinely costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Losing the harbor would greatly impact the local economy and affect local infrastructure as well.
As we're talking about building more roads and bridges and other infrastructure, that material has to come somewhere. And it has to come from somewhere and go to somewhere. Trucking is very expensive, is, I would argue, not the most efficient, especially as you're going across the state. Much easier to get it on barges and on ships. So we've got to keep that all as part of the balance.
Congressman Huizenga says securing this funding can be competitive, but he owes his previous experience in negotiating funds for other harbors in his district with being able to secure enough for the dredging. Getting the harbor routinely dredged was an important issue for former Congressman Fred Upton, who chose not to run against Huizenga after recent redistricting. Huizenga says, though, that he's happy to be able to build upon Upton's work.
It's good to be able to continue that involvement and now having from Holland and Saugatuck and South Haven and St. Joe Benton Harbor, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on those and making sure that the legacy of what Fred has been able to do in the past will be able to continue.
And Congressman Huizenga also added that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers also provided over $500,000 for some necessary repairs that will be made to the North Pier here. And Harbor Master Mike Moran says that now that the funding has been secured, they will begin dredging as soon as possible. For now, live in St. Joe, Jordan Hatfield, ABC 57 News.